five elements offer simple, elegant, and common sense solutions for us to achieve health, balance, and prosperity in our lives. Based on East Asian philosophies such as yin-yang, the low square, and the I Ching, the five elements is especially meaningful for leaders from the Asian diaspora.
For me, as a fourth-gen Chinese American, I'm really aware of the history and legacy and sense of responsibility that we have around that. And part of that is giving all honor and respect to our ancestors who came to this place seeking a new life, working to ensure their family survival. But that also meant assimilation. That also meant embracing the mono-minority myth. That meant becoming settlers according to colonial American standards. The five elements are the medicine that we need to go back to the traditions of our ancestors about how to listen to the land and be in good relationship with it, how to listen to the living indigenous communities and their songs and stories and wisdom about how to steward the land responsibly. So that relationship comes through the five elements for me so that I can build those good relationships from a place of deep authenticity within my heritages and my roots and show up in this place where I am.
I've known for a long time that the five elements work was both calling to me as a Chinese white Hapa girl who really wanted her East Asian lineages to be part of her healing practice. And so I feel like I have almost a cellular ancestral connection to the five elements, and it was calling to me. And so I felt like this was a moment in time where I was actually really ready to learn about the elements and the deeper practice and how to really call that in, and then how to integrate that into the work I was already doing with leaders in our community.
Whether formally transmitted or not, our ancestors infused the principles of the five elements into our everyday lives.
As part of Chinese culture, five elements is kind of there, although not necessarily named. So there's things like food and soup. If you're feeling hot air, you've eaten too much fried food. There's winter melon soup, which cools things down. Or sort of being aware of balancing the humors really is I think what I grew up with. And I knew that there are exercises, if you do Tai Chi, or if you take acupuncture, it helps to balance out the different elements. Never had an intrinsic knowledge of what exactly was happening, but I knew that our medicine man reads your pulses, and he balances out with herbs what's imbalanced, and he can tell what's going on in your body if you've had a cold or something. So I knew that sort of medicinally and food-wise, that was my connection.
While the five elements might be particularly relevant for those of Asian heritage, its universal principles can be helpful for everyone.
Because it's so universal, the truth of how the elements interact, right? The spirit behind the interaction of the five elements, that's universally accessible to anybody out there, right? So yes, those of us who are of Asian descent, we might have an easier time in accessing and understanding, right, how the five elements hang together, right, the chart and how it hangs together, because there's a familiarity of language. But you don't have to be of Asian descent in order to understand the charts and be able to understand the spirit behind it, because the spirit behind this work is universal. It's all around us. You can be of African descent or Asian descent or European descent. We all have access and surrounded by the elements. And so if we just listen and we just still ourselves and we distill down to the totality of the elements, it's all accessible to us.
To learn more about the 5 elements, including how to bring the 5 elements to your community, please go to my5elements.life.